What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another breakdown, and let's get right into it. First, we want to identify the direction of the market. So if I look to my left, I can see the market is in a bearish market. We were previously in a bullish market, but this low got broken, which turned the structure right back into a bearish market. So anything in between this high right here and this low is a bearish market. But if you look closely, you can see we have internal bullish market forming higher highs and higher lows. So this will be our setup. We want to identify our impulse. Remember, our impulse should be all one color, followed by a retracement of at least 2 daily candles, and all the candles of the retracement also needs to be all one color. The impulse should break and close above the highest point of the previous structure. So if I was to mark out the highest point, that will be this, and you can clearly see this impulse right here broke and closed above the highest point of the previous structure. After we identify our setup on the daily, we go to the weekly, and on the weekly, we will be looking for our support and resistance that could be of influence. So this will be my support level right here. If I look to my left, you can see it was previously support, support, resistance, support, support, and resistance right here. And price broke above this level. Now retesting it and using it as possible support to continue the momentum to the upside. The next resistance that could be of influence to our trade is right here. So price still has the room to continue higher. So you can see now it will be used as support, and price still has the room to continue higher before it reach the next resistance that could be of influence to our trade. After we identify our support and resistance on the weekly, we go back to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, I will draw my fib in the opposite direction of the retracement. So from the end to the beginning. This is because we predict the new impulse will at least travel to the negative 27 before it has its retracement. After we draw a fib on the daily, we go to the 4 hour. And on the 4 hour, we're going to wait for the break of this 61 level right here. This will indicate that the new impulse has started. So right now we're waiting for the break of the 61 level. And as you can see, price has clearly broken and closed above this 61 level. Now I can place my entry on the 61, my take profit on the negative 27, and my stop loss on the 88 or below this structure right there. If I place my stop loss below this structure, I will also need to readjust my entry to create at least a 1 to 3. If you want to be protected by the wick, you can even put it underneath the 100. And this one you will need to drag back down to create at least a 1 to 3. Now we're waiting until we get tagged inside of this trade. As you can see, price has now broken and closed above the 38 level. That means our stop loss can go to break even and it becomes a risk-free trade. Right now we're just waiting until our take profit gets hit. And as you can see, our take profit has now been hit. The reason I put my stop loss below this level right here is because the structural low on the 4 hour is right here. So price can have its retracement all the way from this level to down here and continue to the upside. So if you want to be protected by the structural lows, you need to place your stop loss below the structural lows so that you are protected by these lows. Just adjust your entry to create at least a 1 to 3. The take profit is the one thing that you are not going to change. It stays on the negative 27. Right here, we're going to create a 1 to 3. We're protected by this low And this time we're not placing it on the 88. We're waiting until we get tapped. And as you can see, if you was to place it on the 88, your stop loss would have been hit. But if you was to place it below this structural low, you would have been protected and hit TP for at least a 1 to 3. This was the breakdown on out JPY. If you want to learn the strategy, you can click the link in the description to get the course. Peace.